Welcome to Shakaama Politics. We have actually a couple of Supreme Court decisions. We have the affirmative action decision and we have the religious right decision, where the Supreme Court is supposed to translate and apply the Constitution of the United States on any and every law, and in any case that comes before it. This case about affirmative action was brought by Asian Americans. In higher learning, if you base meritocracy, admission on meritocracy, almost every Asian American that would apply would be accepted. Why? Because they stress very hard work, very strict study habits, so that you have Asians coming in with 4.0s just across the board, and an application that is almost 100% in every Asian American. Why? Because they are trying to get into college. So they spend their high school years preparing everything to get into college. The goal is to get into college. So they have the best grades, the best extracurricular activities, the best philanthropy, the best outreach, public speaking, networking. Everything is the best. The goal is to get into the best school. So the application is the best. Are they smarter than anybody else? No. You know the rap song, Know the Assignment, She Knew the Assignment? And in that rap song, the person is talking about the woman. I actually have not listened to the rap songs, but I'm going off of what I've seen on TikTok. The woman is trying to get a man in the rap song. And the woman is doing everything right, everything perfect to get the man. She knew the assignment. The assignment was to get the man. She did everything to get the man, and she got the man. She knew the assignment. So for the Asian Americans, they know the assignment: to get into college, to get into university. That's the assignment. They start at something like 7th grade. I was told this also by my guidance counselor in 6th grade. Prepare yourself. You're going to go into high school soon. I was told this, your high school is going to follow you all the way up until you're like 30 years old. Be sure to absolutely turn your life around in high school. I did not make the best grades in elementary school. Why? Because I am a smart person. Smart people a lot of times do not do well in elementary school. Do you know who makes A's in elementary school? Girls. Why? Because it's suited for girls. Taught by girls, suited for girls. Girls respond to it. Girls get achievement out of it. That's who gets A's in elementary. It's not the smart kids. The smart kids, mainly boys, they could have anything from an A to a D or even F, not even show up, because it's just so boring. It has almost no educational value to it. Elementary used to be that a person with a 6th grade education could make it in life in the United States. They have shown tests from elementary from the 1800s, and college students could not pass the test. Our educational system is lackluster. But back to Asian Americans. They know the assignment. The assignment is to get into college. I knew the assignment. Why I applied to Ivy League. No, I didn't. Yeah, I applied to Ivy League. I got accepted. I did not go to Ivy League. Why did I not go to Ivy League? Because I listened to my mother, who said, you need to be around black people. You've never been around black people, so you should go to a black school. So I went to Grambling State University, and it did absolutely nothing for him. When I graduated I went to the office and they handed me my certificate. They says, aren't you glad you went to Grambling? I said, no, I got absolutely nothing from the school. I only went here to be around black people. This was an unmitigated disaster. I got absolutely nothing from your school. Your school is trash. You concentrate on being black. That has nothing to do with life. And let me say this, as a black man, I have never benefited from affirmative action. You know who else has never benefited from affirmative action, but they keep trying to say that he did? Clarence Thomas. They said that he got into Yale due to affirmative action. I'm here to tell you, Yale started their affirmative action in 1971. Guess who was admitted in 1970? Clarence Thomas. In fact, they said the application Clarence Thomas had was in the top 10% of all applications. He's a brilliant man. He's always been brilliant. Everything he has done has been brilliant. He was brilliant in Yale. He was brilliant as, undersecretary of some whatever. He did not benefit from affirmative action. The affirmative action brought by, in this case was brought by Asians, was denying Asians admissions. By anybody's standard, Asians are a minority in the United States of America. As such, they should have a leg up under the affirmative action, correct? No, they were being denied. They had a standard placed on them that was something like 10 times more difficult than everybody else, including white people. So you would accept a white person over an Asian in school. Now, you want to talk about affirmative action and you want to talk about racial roles. Affirmative action, the beneficiary of affirmative action, 90% has gone to white women. Why is it white women? Because MLK, in talks with Kennedy, when they were formulating this idea of affirmative action, which had nothing to do with the way that affirmative action is held now, white women with the women's movement got themselves declared minorities. They stepped in front of the line of black people when they were trying to readjust, and have some sort of equality amongst black and white people. And white women instead stepped in front of black people. White women have been the beneficiary of every civil rights movement because they got themselves declared a minority. Not only they are not a racial minority, they're not even a number minority. There are more white women than there are white men. There is no definition where white women fall under the category minority. Yet, politically, they got themselves declared a minority, and they have benefited from it to the detriment of black people who they were trying to make quote-unquote reparations for. This follows through in everything in government handouts. White women outnumber everybody else in welfare, WIC, alimony, child custody, child support. Anything, anywhere where somebody is handing out money, white women are at the front of the line. Admissions into college is white women, mostly. It's now 60% women. Who do you think those women, quote unquote, are made up of? Mostly white women. A white woman brought lawsuit some years ago, and I have it on my other channel, whereby she said that black students had taken her position and you should strike down affirmative action. When they actually took a look at the actual admissions and the applications and her records and the records of all the black students, and this should enlighten you, they said the particular entering class that you have chosen to compare yourself with, of the black students that you're trying to compare yourself with, the black students are the best in the country. They are heads and shoulders above even the white people entering the freshman class. You, ma'am, have a lackluster application. You have a D on your record. You're trying to compare yourself to black men, quote unquote, which is what she was complaining about, specifically black men. She named directly. The black men in question have the best scores, the best records, the best athletic ability, the best chess ability. They're in the debate club. They're in the political science club. They're in the engineering club. They're in the astronomy club. They're like, each one of them had 50 clubs that they belonged to. They were on all scholarship rolls, all scholar lists, everything. Every single black man. And that should clue you in when people say, black people are 50% more likely to get into Harvard. Well, the reality of the situation, although they have such thing, black men comprise something like 20 of like a 5,000 freshman class. 20. So the whole 50% is a red herring because it doesn't apply. The Asians complain when they have 1,000 Asians coming in. Out of a entering class of 5,000, there's 1,000 Asians. But the Asians want all the Asians to get in. And I'm saying, sure, let them all in. The black people who apply to Ivy League schools, to elite schools, are the best of the best of the best. They are not the 1%. They are the 0.001%. They are in the upper echelon so much so that they would be successful at any school that they went to. But they still do not get selected, and they've never brought any sort of lawsuit. Hands down, the universities that churn out the most in number black graduates, the most successful in terms of careers and income level, the most intelligent in terms of complete scholastic achievement and ongoing scholastic achievement, are black universities. I did not go to a scholarly black university. Grambling State University is not a scholarly black university. In fact, I heard of a case that was brought, a class action lawsuit that was brought against Grambling State University when Louisiana tried to consolidate all of the schools, and they noticed that the grades given to the graduating classes from Grambling State University were far higher than, on average, than all other schools in Louisiana. I had a 4.0, but I had a 4.0 in high school. I had a 4.0 in middle school. I had a 4.0, I had a 4.0, 4.0 in grad school. So my record was not touched. It was not adjusted. But they adjusted down thousands of people who had graduated from the school. In other states, and that was just at Grambling State University, in other schools in the state, the black students did twice the work, twice the scholastic structure, and barely got the decent grade. In fact, they did interviews at Southern University, which is in collaboration with a white university, so that the black students can have some sort of diversity in their lives. And they noticed that when they went to the white university was twice as easy. Why? Because Southern University operates on a theory that black people have to be twice as good as white people to have the same achievement. So they have twice the scholastic structure as the whites. You have to work twice as hard, do twice as the reports. Everything is double. Now, Justice Ketanji Brown, in an effort to say that we have to make up for past transgressions, affirmative actions should stay. And Clarence Thomas said, you cannot correct racism by being racist. You cannot correct an evil by being evil. So you can't deny Asians based on their race in order to alleviate the racial injustices visited upon minorities in the past. And it just so happens that the people that you're being racist against are actually a minority. So you've shot yourself in the foot. And once again, black people are not affected by the affirmative action. They were never admitted more. And you're going to see people bring up charts saying that every freshman entering class had 10% black, blah, blah. That is a lie. Or shall I say, it's 90% black women. It's women over men. So they're not admitting black men. They're admitting black women. And guess what happens to the black women? Guess what happens? Take a wild guess. They flunk out to a staggering tune of something like 90%. The black men don't flunk out, but the black women flunk. out of Ivy League schools across the board. Why? Because they didn't go to a Southern university. They didn't go to a Southern University magnet school. So they didn't go to a school that said black people had to do twice the work, be twice as smart, make twice the grades as a white person. They didn't have that structure. And you can say what you want to about that's racist, that's harmful. Having a more successful human being is not harmful. When I got to grad school, that's how my professor was. He said, he's from Africa. He said, black people have to be twice as good as white people to even be recognized. So, if your boss says do a report, it should be in triplicate, 100 copies, posters, professional graphics, tables, pie charts, bar charts, all professionally done. Versus what he was expecting, which was an outline that he's going to get from Biff and Chad. And he said, when Biff and Chad turn in their report, they're going to get a pat on the back, a promotion, what have you. When you bring your report, they're going to go, oh, okay, that's great. We'll take a look at it. That's the attitude. That might be the reality. That might be the reality. I have since stopped working for people because people are messy. They might not be racist, but they are certainly messy. And as it stands, mostly women are in charge. Women do not find me nice. I'm 6'2", 300 pounds, nearly 300 pounds of muscle, dark skin, and I speak eloquently. Most of them are so intimidated they won't even hire me. And if a man hires me and puts me under a woman, the woman completely gets me fired for either the lowest thing, including a woman calling in, canceling her subscription, and I say yes, and I'm getting fired for her canceling her subscription when she called in to cancel her subscription. Why? Because that's a woman in charge of me. My supervisor is a woman. That's it. People are messy. So no more working for people. And I'm not going to call every white person a racist, but people are messy. Very messy. They do things for their own self-interest and not for the interest of a company. So they'll do stuff like not admit Asians who have stellar applications into their school. I'm going to do a video for my other channel on robots. And you're going to see in the video that 90% of the employees are Asian. Why? Because Asians get the job done. It's robotics. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. And it's for Elon Musk. He says, okay, it's crunch time, so all of the workers were doing this in the past 24 hours. I'm not gonna say this, but you need somebody who can do some work in 24 hours and get it done and done correctly. People are messy. This affirmative action was unconstitutional. So the Supreme Court said this is unconstitutional. There is no way under equal protection that you can apply this. Compare this to equal protection. Is everybody being equally protected with this affirmative action? No, because Asians are not being admitted. And you're setting a standard for Asians that is 10 times higher than even white people. So that you're approving white people over Asians. And Asians are a minority. And the whole idea of affirmative action is supposed to go to a minority. This is why I said that white women got themselves declared a minority. And so they step to the front of the line of every single thing. Anytime a politician says, all of these welfare moms, he's making you think he's talking about black women, but the reality is it's white women. All of this alimony, you think he's talking about black women, he's talking about white women. The reality is it's white women. We reached out to the minorities and we're gonna do a hiring outreach to the minorities. They mean white women. It happens to be white women. White women, minority. We need to, in 2023, declare that white women are not, in fact, a minority. They are, in fact, a part of the majority. When, in fact, they are a part of the majority. And there are a super majority. So not only are there more white people in the country than anybody else, there are more white women than white men. So they are a super majority. They are a majority of a majority. So no, and under nobody's definition can a white woman be a minority. Please correct that. And probably you wouldn't have this situation where we have actual minorities not getting into places under a policy that says you have to admit minorities. That's crazy. And it also means that the white women are not getting into anything based on their merit. That's what it says. This is what Clarence Thomas was told when he went to Yale, that he didn't get into Yale based on his merit, that he got into Yale based on affirmative action. Affirmative action was not in place. Clarence Thomas has always been a brilliant man. But under the stigma of affirmative action, he was made to feel lesser than. The guy with straight A's, straight everything, was told that he didn't qualify to be in the top school. He is a top human being. If anybody qualified, he qualified. Please like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, donate to the channel. Thank you.